Good morning, Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn. We are getting ready for Blabbing for Britain. We are one man down this week. Mr. Peter Stewart is in Portugal. Lucky man. Hello, John.
Good morning, Stephen.
Yeah. So
I'm just praying for a big sandstorm to swallow him up.
yeah, I wonder how close he would be to Marco.
Well, that was thought went straight through my mind because Marco's at the seaside at the moment as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on a retreat somewhere with his mates. I've forgotten to start the clock. Well, in that case, as I've forgotten to start it, let's go straight on screen. Hello.
Good morning again.
I'll stop the clock. I never started it, but I'll stop it anyway. Okay, so the clock's gone. We're here, and if I do that, does that work? I don't know. Hide that, and then we go side by side. There we are. We're set up. Right. Okay. Well. Let's talk about football because we can. We can talk about football for 60 minutes if we want. There's nobody to stop us.
Yes, although there's some rumours that Burnley might be deducted some points, but I think if they are, it'll apply next season. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, we can't. I mean, Burnley have now won the championship. Sheffield United are definitely second. So they're both promoted to the Premier League next season. So it's been a big celebration here down in Devizes because Burnley are going up to the Premiership as champions. I think that's quite an effort because they only went down to the Championship last year.
Yeah. Will their manager get stolen? There's loads of things saying he's going to join a bigger club, and
there are some big clubs that need new managers. Chelsea, Spurs, perhaps West Ham will survive this year. Mr. Moyes seems to have turned things around a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, although they lost last night, but
I think they're safe. They are safe.
I'm pretty sure they've only got to get another 5 points to be assured of safety. So the question is, will he still be there next year? There seems to be a lot of ill feeling towards him, but they're in their second European semi-final in 2 years running. How can you be moaning about that?
I don't know. How about Everton?
Oh, I'm hoping that they lose this coming weekend, and then
Sean's there.
Yeah, well, so what? That's his choice, not mine.
I hope Everton stay up and Sean gets the job next season.
But Nottingham beat Brighton yesterday.
Okay.
That was a shock.
Well, Burnley were beaten. Burnley have been beaten 3 times this season, and the third time was last week. So occasionally things. I mean, they're all like cup finals at the moment, aren't they? Everybody at the bottom needs 3 points. Yeah. Everybody at the top needs 3 points. Yeah. So the big question of the day is City or Arsenal? City are 2.
I think City are going to pip Arsenal at the post, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I would have liked Arsenal to win, but
for variety, and for a Southern club to win. But they've got 2 games in hand. They're 2 points behind Arsenal, and the odds are that they will win. Well, probably all the remaining matches. Van Haaland is just an incredible player.
So what do you think are Everton's chances against Newcastle tonight?
I would go for a draw. I mean, Newcastle are flying high, but what would you say?
Come on, Newcastle. I think it's actually going to be a draw as well, funnily enough.
Yeah. Yes, it's basically, yeah, if they can just get the points between now and the end of the season, Everton will be, it's in their hands. That's the best thing to be, to actually have control. So, and then the cup, the cup final.
Oh, hang on, let's talk about the Villa first.
All right,
come on. Fifth. I thought when they took on Emre, what a waste of space. I've got to eat my words. We're fifth. Okay, I know we're not going to finish in fifth because A, we've got a tough run in, and B, we're only there by dint of other people not doing very well, to be honest. But I always said that if we'd finished in the top 10, I'd be delighted. But there's a pretty slim chance, though, of European football. We haven't had that for a very long time in Birmingham.
No, very true. All right. I'm just trying to think. All right.
Well, what else is going on? Talk about the cup. The FA Cup, was it?
The FA Cup is on early June, and it's between United and City. That should be quite a game because a cup final is a one-off game. It doesn't matter what you've done before; it's what you do on the day.
Yeah.
And I hope it's a good game. That's the thing. An advertisement for football at the end of the season, because this has been a heck of a long season. I mean, for the last game to be in June is virtually unheard of. I mean, football used to start when cricket stopped. And cricket started in April. And the end of the season was always in April. Now, because of international matches and tournaments like the World Cup, everything's thrown out of kilter. And the football season won't finish till the end of May, and the cup final's the week after. Not that, just seems unnatural. Yeah. Football is a winter sport.
That's why they have a break in winter in Scotland, doesn't it? Because it gets too cold to be a winter sport.
Yeah, in Europe they have a break as well, don't they? Yeah, so anyway, who are you going to barrack for, City or United?
Don't give monkeys. One of them can win. That's fine by me.
Right. Well, Arsenal are not playing, so you can't barrack for Arsenal. It's a total Manchester derby. I'm going to go with City. If Van Haaland is fit, then it's a foregone conclusion. If you're listening to us on, my mind's got a complete blank. If you're listening to us on Royston Radio, welcome. You're listening to John from Solihull and Stephen from Devices in England, and this is our Blabbing for Britain. Welcome to the show, Blabbing for Britain, episode 372. Well, I think it's 372. Yes, I think so.
Something like that. A long time since we first started. And we're back on our own again.
We are. This is how it all began. I mean, we're only 6 months away from episode 400. So, yeah. Amazing, really. Who kept it going. Have you heard from Mr. Silk recently?
No.
He's quite busy on LinkedIn and in his local real world groups, from what I can see. And I mean, he did wish us luck for episode 350, and that's 22 weeks ago. So that's the last time we heard from him officially.
Yeah.
And we do want to say thank you to Fonz for putting this on Royston Radio. We're on Royston Radio on Saturday, 11 a.m. in our regular slot, and you'll be able to hear this broadcast again. You won't be able to see us on screen, but you will be able to listen to the broadcast. Okay. Right now, we as a country have just put the mockers on Microsoft taking over
Activision.
Blizzard. Blizzard are well known for the games like Diablo 2, Diablo 3, and Diablo 4. And that's probably the last computer game that I played. Yeah. But we've apparently, when Microsoft speaks to the European regulators and the European Parliament, they sit around the table and have a discussion. When they're negotiating with the EU, that's fine. When they're negotiating with the UK, they just don't negotiate. The regulators weigh up the pros and cons and decide, and Microsoft don't get a say. So Microsoft's a bit miffed at that. They would have liked a chance to put their case. But it's an anti-competition thing, or to maintain competition, it would not be in everyone's best interests for Microsoft to buy the games company. So that's it. That's it.
It's an awful lot of money as well.
Well, if you think of it, Blizzard came from nowhere to build up.
I've never even heard of the name Blizzard. I've heard of Activision, which is the other part of the name.
Yeah,
but I've never heard of Blizzard.
Oh, Diablo 2.
I'm not into computer games and never ever have been.
Yeah, Diablo 2, classic game, very enjoyable playing. Just to while away 30 minutes, possibly an hour and a half. Start off with saying, I'll just play for 30 minutes, and then an hour and a half later, you're actually that involved in the game. But I think this is strange, isn't it? That the UK regulator can actually prevent the takeover. And this is a global company. This is not a company that's actually based in the UK. It seems weird that we can actually put them block on a takeover. Weird. Okay, that's all we're saying on that. Possibly. All right, what's happening in the news? Anything caught your eye at all?
Not really.
Right. Well, after 4 years and 4 prime ministers, this is the UK. The report on regulating gambling is due to be published, and they're now saying that if you are, you can gamble on your mobile phone. It's so easy to do. Set up an account, put some money in, and you can lose it all. If you lose £1,000 in a day, though, you're going to be referred to someone who will be there to help you, and you'll be stopped playing until you've actually taken that help. Now, this sounds like the nanny state, but I suppose from point of view, gambling is an addiction, and people lose a lot of money. Yeah, I mean, the only time I think about betting is the Grand National. Yeah,
I couldn't tell you now. I probably could tell you when I last had a bet. When I was the trainee programmer at BOC Data Solve in Alum Rock at the age of 18, it might even have been 18, 19. I used to get sent to put the bets on for the lads.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my duties as the trainee junior programmer, was to go to the betting shop and place the bets. It was only a few hundred yards from the offices. That's the only time I've ever been betting ever in my life.
Yeah. That doesn't make sense. There are many more ways to lose your money or spend your money.
I don't even do the national lottery. I did it a few times when it first was launched, and then thought I'd be better to stick these money in the bank than into some paper tickets that don't produce anything.
Indeed.
Is that gambling, the national lottery?
Sorry?
I said, is the national lottery gambling?
Yeah, I haven't played the national lottery since the 3rd week it was running, which is quite a while ago now.
Yeah, ours is probably slightly longer than that, but not a lot.
Yeah. I think I won £10 and thought, this is good, I'll quit while I'm ahead. Which I was at that point. But the money goes to good causes, which is good news for us all, really, because charities are playing a greater part in the UK than they've ever done in terms of helping people who can't because of the circumstances at the moment. Did you notice? Do you have an electric meter in the house that sort of gauges your electric
Well, I've
power
got these
usage?
fancy things called smart meters.
Smart
Yeah,
meter, that's the word I was looking for.
yeah, and for a long time we had this thing that told us how much we used, etc., plugged in, and then it stopped working. And
Yep.
although I've twice asked for it to be replaced, it hasn't been replaced.
No. Basically, it used to be that every week Angelica noticed it wasn't working, just unplugged it, let the batteries run down, plugged it back in. That was every week, but now it's getting to every other day, and that's getting a bit of a pain in the derriere.
It's in a drawer in our house because it doesn't do anything of any use whatsoever.
It's useful because you're not using it. You won't have noticed then that since the government help ceased, the daily figures have just skyrocketed.
All right.
Yeah, it's actually telling you how much electricity you use during the day, and the numbers have just gone silly. Yeah, we've got up to £10 a day, which is incredible.
My February bill was 400 and something pounds for both.
That's for the month of the quarter.
That's a month.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that prices go up. I've got this theory. Okay, we are grateful to be here and have got through the COVID years, and now when something goes wrong, we just don't complain because we're lucky to be here. And when electricity prices go through the roof as they are at the moment, there isn't, apart from Martin Lewis, there isn't anybody championing the cause of people who are paying more. Yeah, we don't complain anymore. We just don't. I mean, the nurses, the doctors can go on strike and we support them, and the government just says, okay, we'll wait another month. Yeah, people are being used, for want of a better word, I think. Yeah, because these strikes are just going on and on, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Of course, we're old enough to live in the past when strikes were much more serious and much more common. Yeah.
Well, general strikes when everybody struck at the same time, and the power was such that the government couldn't ignore it. With these strikes, which are piecemeal and everybody deciding their own timetable, doesn't have the same effect, does it? I mean, you would have thought that commuters in the south east would have been up in arms over the rail strikes, but yet I think we've often said that the news is not censored, but we're not told everything that's going on.
Selective is the word, I believe.
Yeah. We are told selective bits of the news, so we don't hear about protests because the government say that's not good for the country. You're broadcasting against the wishes of the people who elected this wonderful government. And I think there's a bit of that going on, so that we don't get all the protests actually shown. Yeah, which takes us back to the last protest, which was given news, which was over the weekend when the London Marathon took place, which for over 40,000 people running a marathon, just incredible. And basically, the fastest times are 2 hours and 10 minutes, which is basically running a mile in just over 5 minutes. And that takes some doing. And to do it for 26 miles, yeah. And Safan, who won the ladies' race, was her first ever marathon, which is an incredible story. Mind you, she's the 5,000 meter world record holder, the 10,000 meter world record holder, the half marathon record holder. So she's not as if she's never run before. She's just not run a London Marathon before, and she walked away with it, really. Our Lady was in 9th. It's always good to watch, though. We had, because of the park run, we got to know several people who are taking part. And one guy was taking part dressed as a rhino. And Angelica chatted to him 3 weeks ago as he was preparing for the marathon. And she held the rhino head and she said it weighed a ton. Yeah, so how he can run 26 miles, which he did, wearing a rhino costume, I just stand in awe, because the oldest finisher was 92 years old. So kudos to him. So basically, the whole range of age groups were taking part, and it is a national event. And Angelica and I watched it with more interest than usual this year. We could.
You were rhino spotting, were you?
we were looking out for the rhino. Apparently, there were 3 rhinos in the race, and we never saw ours, because the famous place to actually watch everybody is to go past Cutty Sark, right? Because they slow down around that bend. But we didn't see it. Yeah, so we are sort of thinking, should we? Now, the closing date for entries for 2024 is tomorrow, and it's a draw. And basically, you get put in the hat, and then they draw your name out and decide whether you can take part in the race. And we're thinking about it. First of all, we said, nah. And then we saw the fact that a lot of people actually finished the race, the marathon, in 6, 7, 8 hours. And we thought, well, we've done that because we've done the Sarsen Trail, which is 26 miles walking. And we thought we can do that. So we're thinking, I don't think we will enter, but it's always good to have the option. And it just makes you think what's possible. Because a lot of people just decide to start running. Yeah. I mean, I decided I normally go 11:30 in the morning. I put on my headphones. I've got my Fitbit on my wrist, and I just go out the door and I walk 4 or 5 miles. I've been doing that for 6 months. But I decided 2 weeks ago to actually start running. So now when I go out the door, I actually start running. So there's a chance we might be fit enough. I'm certainly fit enough to actually do it. Yeah. So we're toying with that idea. But kudos to anybody who actually took part in the London Marathon or actually takes part in park runs, just getting out and about. So it's on our list of things that we might do in 2024, because you can still get in after the fact if you get approached a charity. Charities run; they've got so many places to give away, and if you raise funds for charity, you can still take part. In fact, you've got a guaranteed place if you raise funds for charity. And if you raise something like £150, then you can take part in the London Marathon 2024. The next event, of course, is the Great North Run, which is half the distance. And it finishes by the seaside. What better than to finish your run by the seaside? Yeah. Okay. Right.
And then have a stick of rock once you've finished your run, eh? Get yourself a stick of rock to put some energy back.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it's true. We've got a bit of a confusion at the moment in that the groups on Facebook with runners from all around the world, and they keep saying, some of them, I'm doing a 5K marathon. Now, we Brits, of course, think you've got it wrong there. You either run a 5K or you run a marathon. A 5K is not a marathon. You don't need to prepare for a 5K. Put your running shoes off and go. Simple as that. But there is a 5K marathon. It does exist. And it's 5Ks back to back.
All right.
All right. So it causes hilarity. I mean, British humour being what it is. Anybody who says I'm doing a 5K marathon, how do I prepare? Is going to be told, well, just walk or run or jog. But 5K marathon is 5K runs back to back, which is basically, it's not a marathon. It's 25K is, it's about half a marathon. Just over half a marathon. Anyway, that's the running, walking, cycling bit done. So back to the news. And again, if you're listening to this on Royston Radio and you've got any questions for us, then please do ask. Must have a word with Fonz. We want our own forum, so you can follow us on Royston Radio and actually talk to us during the week when we're not live, because we're live at 10 a.m. every Thursday, and we've been here for 372 weeks, plus a little bit, because we get holidays, and Peter's on holiday at the moment, and John and I are holding the fort. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So it does mean they're not going to get subjected to a Scottish rant today.
No, we could have an English rant though, but that's not us. I mean, Peter is the ex-conservative. Yeah, because he has right-wing views most of the time, although he's mellowing as he gets older, he's mellowing a little bit, John, but the rants still continue. I mean, we're both Lib Dems, so we don't rant. Well, our leader might rant, but we don't rant. Yeah, so, right, which brings us on to the elections next week. And for the elections next week, you have to produce your passport or driving license.
Or? Oh, yeah, I can use my senior citizens bus card.
Right. Okay.
It is on the list.
Right. But you have to produce them to vote.
Which means Celia can't vote. Won't make any difference because she doesn't vote.
Yeah, but I let's go with the principle for a moment. Should you have to? I mean, let's just get this in total context. Millions of people vote, and less than 20 people have voted as someone else. Less than 20 people in the last 20 years have voted as someone else, and now we're getting this coming to actually stop those 20 people. So in other words, millions of people have got to take their passports or their bus cards or their driving license. That's it. Thank you, John. They can't see that on the radio.
Can't see that on the radio.
No, so basically, this is the first step towards identity cards. Do you think?
I have no issue. Identity card will be fine as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Identity card is quite likely to be helpful to somebody who's in an accident, for instance, because it will carry their blood type on it and things like that. So I don't have any issue with the idea of everyone having an identity card.
I just wear one of these. It's got a barcode on, and it's an ice band in case of emergency. That's it. That's my identity. I just need my photograph on there. It'd be complete. But I think we're taking a sledgehammer to crack a nut, and there may be ulterior motives to all this, because they've been trying to get ID cards in for years and failing miserably in doing it. My R was prompted by a message that's just come in. And long time no see, Corinda. How are you? This is our friend Corinda from Staines in Middlesex. And I'm missing Blabbing for Britain. Well, thank you. We've still been here, Corinda. We carry the flag for Blabbing for Britain every week, apart from when we're on holiday in Portugal.
Without telling us, yeah.
Yeah, we've got 30 minutes notice.
I won't be there. I'm in Portugal.
Yeah. And Corinda's got a comment coming in. What's new on Amazon?
You'll have to watch Stephen later today to find out.
Right. Okay. Thanks for the in, John. There are two important events today. In my life, I'm live on Amazon at 2:00. Basically telling stories and marketing on Amazon.com, the world's third largest website. I've been doing that for 19 months now. John knows it's 19 months because I keep on talking about it. And so that's today at 9 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. in the UK. That's me live. And then at 11 a.m., 4 p.m. in the UK, be live I'm part of BeLive crew again, and BeLive are broadcasting today at 4 o'clock in the UK, 11 a.m. Eastern, and they're broadcasting about new features on BeLive, and there is a giveaway. You can win prizes, you can win subscriptions to BeLive if you join the show and take part in. Corinda's here now, so I can put this on screen. Apologies to everybody in Royston. I'm now putting a visual aid on screen. We've got a snake on screen with Corinda on the lead, and that snake, together with the lottery jar. Let me just move it so we can see it. Together with, let's put it there. Okay. No, there. Stop. Right. Okay. Together with the lottery jar will be used to, and Corinda's gone in there now. Corinda, you're forever in the lottery jar, Corinda. I like the background.
Your reward for being in a lottery jar is you can have a banana.
Right. Okay. Food prices. That's a great segue. Isn't it?
Food prices. I can't believe how much some things have gone up.
No.
I really just can't. You know, just some things are just ridiculously gone up.
That's true.
Yeah.
My reason for mentioning it was they've actually priced the cost of making a homemade cheese sandwich, which is one of our staples, and it's gone up 30% in a year. Bread's gone up, cheese has gone up, butter's gone up. Yeah, never mind putting any relishes on there.
So a standard slab of cheese in the UK used to be £1.75. It's £2.79 now. Unbelievable. A loaf of just off the shelf loaf of bread, nothing fancy. Used to be 49, 79p now. Yeah. A packet of midget gems, not that I ate many midget gems, used to be 29p. It's 60 pence now.
You just can't fathom it, can you?
No. And will they go back down? You can bet your bottom dollar they won't.
Inflation.
Although milk has gone down. Milk has gone down in price. It's even worse.
Yeah. I've got a jar in front of your head. There you go. That's better. I thought you were having a rant. Carry on.
I'm not having a rant. I'm just being factual. Things have got bloody expensive.
They have food inflation is currently 27%. The national inflation rate is 10.1. That's because food is only part of our spending. And again, we're not complaining. We remark about it, but there's nobody campaigns to say cut prices now. And the supermarkets are just, well, here's a good one. You would think that the supermarkets were actually coining it at the moment and making money. Yeah. Sainsbury's have just lost money. Yeah. Basically, they did the restructuring by getting rid of what was it called? Oh, my memory's gone. Never mind. They got rid of the restructured Argos, and that cost them 250 odd million, with other things as well. And they actually made a loss this year.
Well, they moved our local Argos, which was a pretty big store, inside Sainsbury's in Solihull. They did the same in Shirley, which is an area of Solihull. And both of them are tiny by comparison, because they claim that it's all taking place online. The orders have moved online.
Could well be that is totally true, because if I'm looking for anything, then first place I look is Amazon, look around town, and then back to Amazon and buy it.
I've only bought one item in the last few years from Argos. I bought Celia's phone from there simply because it was 1 penny more in Argos and I could get it there and then instead of waiting till the next day. Her phone had failed, and I was getting a bit of earache that the phone didn't work.
Yeah. So food prices are not going to go down. farmers are not complaining because, with the exception of milk, they're actually getting a better deal than they've ever done. So it might make our food security improve because we do want to grow most of our own food. Always a good idea.
I know you don't drive very often, but what's petrol where you are?
Petrol where we are in Devizes, it's 150. Out of town, it's 142.
150.
This is Devizes. Devizes is it's the most expensive petrol in Wiltshire.
I filled up at 189.9 this week. 138.9. I don't know what I said.
Okay, that's better.
I had a senior moment then. 138.9.
Oh, is it? Right. Okay, and let's go to comments.
And that's in town area as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Even petrol's gone up. It's saying Corinda. And
petrol's gone down. It was as much as 152 a litre here, and now it's down to 139 if you round it up.
Yeah. And the prices in Tesco and Argos have gone up. Their prices have gone up everywhere. And we're just weathering the storm. Yeah. We're lucky enough to be able to cope, but we have an increasing number of people who just can't afford. And that's where the charities come in. That's where the London Marathon comes in.
I will be growing more fruit and veg this year, definitely.
Are you taking a second plot?
I've had two for a long time.
So you're taking a third plot? I'll rephrase
I've got 1.5. I've got one full length plot, and then I've got the plot next to it. But the front half of the plot next to it is the car park. It's about six. You could probably get 8 cars on it at a pinch.
Right.
Yeah. And then my second plot is the other half behind.
Gotcha. All right. Okay. Right. Sudan. Again. I say Sudan again because the war's broken out again, and Brits and Americans and the French are caught up in it. And our army are doing a sterling job actually bringing people home. So shout out to them. To find yourself basically 1 minute you're in a peaceful country, next minute you've got 2 factions fighting each other. You're in the middle. They don't care. I don't for one moment want to be in one of those situations. Yeah. I mean, that's unlikely to happen in Portugal. I mean, Peter's safe. But in certain African countries, then you are running a risk. Yeah. So, well done to the army. All right. Okay. Now, this is there's a serious part to this, which I'll cover first. CBI has fallen into disrepute because of the actions of its members. And we don't want to comment on that because that will come to law and people will be judged as they should be judged rather than being prejudged. But you'll like this, John. CBI, Confederation of British Industry. Do you know how they're going to solve this problem? Basically, the backstory to this, there's an increasing number of British companies that have left and revoked their membership of the CBI, saying we don't want to be associated with you, and that includes some well-known British companies. CBI has a new chairman, and she has said we're in a mess, and part of the way to actually get out of the mess is they're going to change their name. Yeah, CBI's gone. We're somebody else now. Yeah. That's one way of doing it. I mean, Facebook rebranded as Meta, and we keep seeing META everywhere on the Facebook website and Facebook products. But does it work? I mean, we still call it Facebook. I mean, I'm not a member of Meta. Yeah, and changing the Confederation of British Industry, I suppose the decline of British industry might have something to do with it. But it wasn't just industry, it includes commerce as well. It was the top companies in the UK. If they're leaving, a change of name is not going to bring them back.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, and we have
Nobby from Portugal.
Hello from Portugal, or hi from Portugal. Peter has joined us. He couldn't resist. Thanks, Peter, for joining us. Corinda's back with us, Peter. Okay. Okay, so we've got 2 viewers, at least. And we get views on the replay as well. Yeah, so just a reminder for those who don't know, this is episode 372 of Blabbing for Britain UK News Review, and 372 is the one without Peter, until Peter turned up and said hello. Okay. So CBI, I don't think you can just change your name and hope that that's going to change people's perception of you, especially when the allegations against CBI members are, well, yeah, so we wouldn't touch it. We don't need to. So that's going along. Ukraine. I mean, we've been talking about Ukraine since the war began, which is how long ago? We have a section called "What We Know on Day." I'm on the Groniad at the moment, and I've got a section "What We Know on Day." I think it's day 382, possibly. Okay, but there is fighting was suspended during the winter because Ukrainian and Russian winters are a bit worse than British winters. But there is a spring offensive, and apparently Ukraine are on the offensive. So, but this war is just going to go on. And I just wish. The good thing to come out this week was President Zelensky talking to the Premier of China. And I think that's the first time that's happened. So China are getting more involved in talking to both sides. I don't care who brokers a peace, but I just want peace. I just want the fighting to stop. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
There's a claim that they're starting to run out of ammunition on the front line.
Mm.
The Ukrainians. So that's something to be taken into account, I suspect.
I think both sides are running short. We've had 4 months to stock build, but to have a negotiated peace is the only way out. We know that. At the end of the day, people have got to sit down around the table and they have got to sort something out because people are being killed needlessly for no gain. I mean, Russia can't gain anything really. And Ukrainians want their country back. And basically, you can't see this on Royston Radio, but hopefully if I go over here, I can bring this on screen. I've brought up the Support Ukraine, which we've been using throughout our broadcasts. I think the West does support Ukraine. Yeah. And anyway, NATO has grown, hasn't it? NATO has grown. With Norway joining NATO, and Sweden probably will do. So if you are aggressive against one state, you're aggressive against all. So
that's the theory.
Yeah, you just have to hope that because Norway has a long border with Russia, you just have to hope that nothing happens. Right, that's the benefit of being an island. Yeah, we're far away from it. The only connection we've got with Europe is the Channel Tunnel now. Yeah. Do you think it would have been, if Brexit had come before the Channel Tunnel? Do you think the Channel Tunnel would ever have been built?
Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anyway, in other news, you can now get a train from London to Berlin. How's that? You can take the train from London to Berlin. You go from London to Brussels, and then from Brussels to Berlin. So you've only got, it's better than our rail system. You only got one change, and the prices, because the numbers of Germans and Brits, they expect to use it, and Dutch. In fact, anybody along the route, all of which means that when we go to Germany this time, we won't be flying, we won't be driving, we'll be going by train. And we get on the train in Chippenham to London, and then from London just walk across town and get to Waterloo, and then from Waterloo train goes to Brussels, and then from Brussels all the way to Berlin. And just so happens that on the Berlin line is shut off, so we can get off at shut off probably about 1 o'clock in the morning. So we're looking forward to that. So you can now go direct from London through to Berlin, and that is going to be an extremely popular service, because there's so many places it can stop along the way. There will be express trains which will go London, Brussels, Berlin, and then there'll be the trains which are stopping trains, as we call them in the UK, and you'll be able to get off wherever you want to within Belgium, Holland, Germany. Yeah. You found it, John?
Yeah. It's quite cheap as well, 77.9 euros.
It is incredibly cheap. Yeah. Yeah, it's the cheapest way to travel to Germany now. I mean, if you wanted to go to Berlin, I mean, if Peter would fly there, but I would actually, as we are going to do, just get the train. Yeah. Get to London on the train, which is about an hour and a quarter, less than an hour, and then walk across town, London Waterloo, get on the train, and you get off in Shuttleworth. It couldn't be easier. And the
930 kilometers.
Yep. How many 5Ks is that?
£70.50.
Yeah, it's a brilliant price. I mean, flying from Bristol, you cost more than that to park the car. Yeah, never mind before you get the tickets. It costs more to park at Bristol Airport than it does to actually go on the train. Yeah. So if you don't mind traveling on trains, and I don't, I enjoy traveling on trains. I mean, the modern trains. I mean, we're not talking about a carriage on the Preston to Colne line. We're talking about superb quality all the way. Yeah, and you can have a sleeper berth if you want, because it is going from London to Berlin is a long journey, but even so. So there you have it. New service. You heard it here first. Well, you might have heard it elsewhere, but we're talking about it, and we're actually, Angelica and I are actually going to do it later this summer. So I'll report back later this year. That's when I will be Blabbing for Britain. May well take a break this year for a couple of weeks, as we normally do, just to refresh ourselves and take some time off. Have you any holidays planned? Oh no, sorry, wrong question, John. Are you taking a break?
We're not going anywhere at the moment, so.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so I'm looking.
Where does it start? Does it start from St Pancras or from Waterloo?
St Pancras, probably.
Yeah,
I've been there. We did the train to. Where did we go? Oh, we did the train to Amsterdam. Yeah.
Yeah, I went on it not long after it had opened to Paris.
Yeah. Yeah, but that turns right. We're turning left. Yeah.
Courtesy of well, they were Motorola computers, but they became Honeywell.
Right. Okay.
So we were taken to there, and I've got a couple of. We were given on the travel. We were given some prints of Paris, of a scene in Paris.
Yeah.
I've got 2 of them somewhere, still rolled up, because the person I went with didn't want it. He gave it to me. they're still in the tube that they came in.
Ah, okay. eBay?
Oh, I don't know. Never thought about it.
All right. Okay.
Now, that's what I'm looking for.
I can't see a thing, John, because you've got your background on, and it just
Yeah.
the thing
Talking about pictures,
yeah.
they probably would have had more interest with Peter, but
Could
when Mum and Dad moved on, we found this picture in an envelope. Can you see it?
I can see it. Yes, we've got it. It's in front of you. Yes. Would you actually describe it?
It's some flowers being watered by a young lady in a big dress, yeah, and a bonnet.
Right.
But with it was the brown paper originally that came in. Yeah, can you see that?
Yeah.
Can you see the label?
We can't see it because you've got your background on. If you switch your background off, we'll see it clearly. It's supposed to be a pain, but
Flipping it. Where's
okay. John's using XSplit VCAM.
we'll get there in the end. Right.
Yeah,
You can
but
see the big hole in the wall.
right, you can show everything again now.
Right. So I don't know if you can see that.
I can see the word Jenner's, and I can
Now,
see
Jenner's was a famous store in Scotland, in Glasgow, there, in Princes Street, Edinburgh. It's subject to restore, and it's a place that actually had a fire recently. Yeah, and it's the label is to Miss Betty Folk Ark. Yeah. 19 Woodlands Drive, Glasgow. But it has a date on it, and it's 12th of the 12th, 33.
Wow.
And then it has 2 stamps on it, which also stamped 1933. So we think that was put with it to give it some substance, whatever you want to call it. But it's actually signed by somebody called Folk Arder.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Provenance. That's it. Provenance is the term, isn't it? When you got something to actually
word. So we're not sure because it's the same name, but it's got an E on the end, and we wondered if it was some continental relation. But it was quite an interesting, it was just in an envelope.
Brilliant. Okay, this
from my grandfather's.
Yeah, let's come a bit closer to home and go back to April 23rd at 3 o'clock. Did you get the national disaster alert?
I did.
Yeah. Did you get it at 2:59 on 3 o'clock?
I didn't pay that much attention. I just
about 3 o'clock. Right. Basically, there's been heavy discussion about this, that the government did say that everybody will get the message. And they also said the word test. Now, John and I both know that a test means it may not work totally. It is a test. They're testing it to make sure that when they have to use it for real, it will work. And the results are in, and 80% of us actually got a message, which I think for a first run is a pretty good figure, John.
Yeah, I was down the allotments, and suddenly everybody's phone started going. Yeah.
So
most people just went and turned it off and put it back in their pocket.
Investigations are ongoing as to why 20% of the population didn't get a message. And I'm not going to mention any carriers, but there was one carrier in particular who seemed to have more problems than others. So they're investigating, and no doubt there'll be a second national test in 2024. Yeah, because it's good to have the system. I know people said, okay, I don't want to know. I'm going to switch my phone off. It won't be on. It's not going to work. I'm not interested. But this is a national disaster alert. And if something has gone totally wrong, if we're in imminent danger from an asteroid or anything, then we have the right to know. And putting your phone on and leaving your phone on, actually receiving the message, means you get a chance to take action. If you don't know what's going on, as hiding, switching your phone off, I don't see the reasoning behind it, because it's there to protect and help us. This is not invasive. I mean, it was just sent to phone numbers. It wasn't sent to people. It didn't say, "Dear Stephen" or "Dear John." It just had a general message going out to everybody. So it's not about data. It's not about data, but anything to do. Well, as far as I know, John, do you think there's any dark motive behind it?
They've been doing it all around, almost everywhere else in the world for years. It's us yet again behind the rest of the world.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't have any qualms about it, and we'll be ready when the test comes on in 2024. We'll let you know about it on Blabbing for Britain. We're looking forward to Peter being back next week. I'll just give John a minute. Looking forward to Peter being back next week. He's on holiday in Portugal. Have a sunny week, Peter and Sheila, and we look forward to seeing you back. We're back, as John will tell you in a moment. We're back next week. Later today, I am live on Amazon.com, which just happens to be the third largest website in the world. I'll be live for an hour at 2:00. That's 9 a.m. Eastern, because it's an American site, of course. And then at 4:00 today, it's the Be Live giveaway. And all you have to do is watch part of the show, and you can take part in the draw. And the snake will be on screen. And if you are on the snake, you can then end up in the lottery jar, and you can win a prize. The prize is actually decided randomly by the jar itself. If I click the jar to get a winner, I'll get a winner. That's it. So this is, I mean, people are using this Be Live facility to actually run draws. Yeah, live on Facebook and YouTube. So just think about it. If you want to get ahead, get a snake. Okay. Do you think that works, John?
I think it's a gimmick. But I've always maintained that since they launched it.
You have been consistent. Very consistent. But I'm just going to news, see if there's anything we've missed that's going on.
Now, a couple of things one thing I've noted is that Dame Edna Everage put up the what do they call it? I can't think of the right word now. Wrote a letter about the passing of Barry Humphries that was published in the Telegraph, was it? Something like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And yesterday, momentous event. I had a post taken down in Facebook for nudity. For nudity. It was advertising World Naked Garden Day, which is May the 6th. And I appealed because the person wasn't nude. Yeah, they had a great big flower pot in front of them, and it was put back up.
You've got to love artificial intelligence. We haven't spoken about it. I'm going to go and look at Jounce and its updates, because that's been improved.
Well, we've got Jounce Art 2 now, haven't we? I haven't bothered with any of it, so I will have a look at some stage. Got other things at the moment.
Okay, John. John, it's over to you.
It's me this week going, oh no, it's me every week that says, right, we're off now. Have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. We'll be back here, same time, same place next week. But hopefully Peter will bother to turn up this time. Bye.
Bye. And bye to Royston Radio.